This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, so true. It does not matter who I am. What matters is who you are, because that's always the important portion. So this is it. This is it. I will tell you, when it comes from the live standpoint, this will be our last show of the year. So just a little FYI action as we are talking. Anyways, today is Friday, December the 23rd of 2022, day 357th of the year, and only 8 days left to go. Yeah, that's it. 8 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse. Yes, that is the multiverse, known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
Radio Big.
Yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big as they do their stuff, we do our stuff, and stuff is being done across the multiverse, the multi-section, the multilingual angle of everything that is going on, because it is important to talk about the stuff that we are doing, because then if not, I'd be talking about the stuff that we're not doing, and that would get all kinds of weird. So there you go. So with that being said, what are your plans? I need to know. Because here's what's going on. You are aware that there's already a list of a whole bunch of stuff that is going on when it comes to the whole thing about hanging out in the airport and trying to get a flight everywhere because of the weather. So that's the thing. So I don't know what your plan is, but today and tomorrow and I think Saturday are supposed to not be great travel days. Not so much because of capacity issues. It's going to be because of weather-related issues, is what it sounds like around there. So just some information purposes as we are talking. So with that being said, what do you have planned? I will tell you, I am keeping it locked right here inside of this area, not going anywhere. I will actually be staying home for the first time in years, I think, in regards to being able to do that. But that's just on me, not on anybody else. So there you go. So, I don't know. It is Freeform Friday, so we're going to be all over the place because that's what we do on Freeform Friday. So we'll talk about that in regards of that. So there you go. And what else? I think that's it. That's Freeform Friday. We talk a little bit about everything. We kind of go all over the place, and that's kind of the way the resolution goes in things. So let's do this real quick. Let's start talking off about what the hell was trending, because I think that might help in regards of the vocal of what we want to do. So let's go ahead and do that right ahora.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so talking about stuff that was trending, let's do this. So we talked about it earlier in the week. Let's talk about it again. YouTube TV was trending after the internet subscription landed NFL Sunday Ticket. That did happen, and it was mentioned Ayel. So we can talk a little bit about that later on, or we can talk about it now. We'll talk about it a little bit later on because I think that will be a little bit cooler to do. We'll talk about that in a bit. R.I.P. or rest in peace, Ronnie landed in Twitter top 10 trends on Thursday after the news broke that Ronnie Hillman's passing. We can talk a little bit more about that. Also, it was snowing was trending as much of the country hunkered down amid the blizzard-like conditions. And tweets with Merry Christmas wishes flooded Twitter on Thursday. So there you go. You know, here's the thing. I mean, I don't know if you were aware of this, but this year Walmart will be closed for Christmas. So for the 2 cashiers that they have available can actually spend Christmas time with their family. So there you go. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, are you done shopping? I will tell you, I was talking to my oldest daughter last night. And she was telling me that she's still doing shopping as we're hanging. And I was like, wow, you're still doing shopping. And then, of course, she's trying to talk me into taking her out today to go amongst the crowds. And I'm just like, I guess I'd rather do it today than do it on Saturday, if that's going to be the case. Her original plans was to try to go to an amusement park today. And I was like, I don't know if I would be into that. But, hey, it's a little bit cold here. For Florida standards, well, let me rephrase that. It's supposed to be cold here for Florida standards. It does not look like it's cold at the moment, but just some stuff to think about. But, that's first world problems, as I like to call it. So with that being said, today will be kind of all over the place because it's Freeform Friday. That's the first thing, and it's the last show of the year that we will do from a live method. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I might pop up on Radio Big next week. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Because I was thinking about, hey, I have all of next week off. And then I was like, I do have all of next week off. But then I looked at my calendar and I realized I'm doing absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm doing absolutely nothing next week. But hey, I guess that's just on me. So with that being said, if you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com is the easiest way to do it because that's kind of where we hang out and do most of our stuff. So that's one. Callinradio.com. The other side of the equation, if you're inclined to do so, of course, you can actually go to the different social media platforms to take a look at what the hell we have going on. That's a possibility too. You don't have to do it, but it's something you can do if you want to do it. That's another thing. And what else? I think that's pretty much the bulk of it. It's the bulk of the things that we got going. I'm trying to look. I mean, I don't know. This year has already been kind of an interesting one, and the amount of interaction that you and I were able to do was a whole other equation of things. I mean, I'm trying to take a look. I think that this is episode right now as we speak of 687, if I remember correctly. But I might have my math off, so I'm gonna have to double check that because I'm not 100% sure that I'm giving you right numbers. And I hate when other people give me wrong numbers. So yes, it is 687 today. 687. That's a lot of talking, and that's a lot of you and I hanging out. If we kind of want to give it some consideration, we're getting close to 2 years of you and I doing this on a Monday to Friday basis. And I'm just talking about in regards of timeline of how much we've been doing it together, or if you wanted to take a listen to all those different clips of us doing stuff. I know. The memories, and taking a look at all that kind of fun stuff. So if you're not familiar with the show, let me kind of just give the liner here. We talk about safety in the news and safety, because that's kind of what we do here. And we bring in some professional broadcasters that will tell you what the hell's going on inside of the world of the news, because that does help out in the world of things. And then we kind of move forward. And then I come back and talk a little bit, and we do our gig together. So let's get that started right now. Let's start off with some news right now, because I think that this is going to be, we'll say it will be important.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Trey Thomas. Over 170 million Americans are being warned of a dangerous wind chill just days before Christmas. Governors in at least a dozen states have declared emergency measures. President Biden is urging Americans to take the severe weather seriously.
It goes from Oklahoma all the way to Wyoming and Wyoming to Maine, and it's a real consequence. So I encourage everyone, please heed the local warnings.
As the bomb cyclone moves eastward, New York will reportedly issue a blizzard warning. The historic winter storm hitting much of the U.S. is disrupting holiday travel. Thursday saw about 10,000 U.S. flight delays and thousands of cancellations. It's felt hardest in major hubs like Chicago and Denver. Denver International Airport official Stephanie Figueroa.
We have teams out in the airport right now handing out blankets and pillows or anything that passengers who may be stranded at the airport may need.
Over 2,000 flights for Friday have already been canceled. Donald Trump is calling the January 6 final report a highly partisan witch hunt. The House committee investigating last year's Capitol attack released their 845-page full report on Thursday night and said the former president had a multi-part plan to overturn the 2020 presidential election. In a post on Truth Social Thursday night, Trump said the report failed to mention his recommendation for troops to be used in D.C. or to study the reason for the protest. President Biden is calling for national unity in his Christmas address. Biden made a holiday speech from the White House Thursday and said he hopes this holiday season will drain the poison that has infected our politics and set us against one another. You're listening to NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
The December sell-off is back. Stocks fell Thursday as investors didn't carry on a rally from Wednesday. They're concerned about the central bank taking action to control inflation. At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 349 points, the S&P 500 dropped 56 points, and the Nasdaq lost 233 points. TikTok parent company ByteDance says employees obtained data of users in the U.S. Brian Shook reports.
The Chinese-based company said it conducted an internal investigation that found a few of its employees tried to find sources of internal conversation leaks. In that process, they obtained the IP addresses of 2 journalists and others connected to them via their TikTok accounts.
The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits is rising slightly. The Labor Department says 216,000 people sought first-time benefits last week. That's a jump of 2,000 from the previous week's revised total. Connecticut, Washington, D.C., and Nevada had the largest increases for the week that ended December 10th. A new study is listing the top spots to celebrate New Year's Eve. Matt Mattinson has the details.
WalletHub ranked New York City as the best place to ring in 2023. The personal finance site based the research on things like entertainment cost and safety. It also looked at other aspects like the popularity of the holiday and the legality of fireworks. Orlando, Florida, and Las Vegas, Nevada rounded out the top 3. Meantime, North Las Vegas, Nevada was listed as the worst place to celebrate.
Americans' life expectancy is at its lowest level since 1996. CDC data shows a downward trend starting in 2020, landing at just over 76 years old for those born in the U.S. in 2021. You're listening to NBC News Radio.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, there you go. Currently 19 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out on this fantastic Friday. Yes, you know it is. It is the Friday right before, I almost said Thanksgiving, but I meant Christmas. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, the Friday right before Christmas and, you know, the whole new year and all that kind of fun stuff that kind of coincides with the rest of the thing. So let's start talking immediately about what the hell's on the shit list as we are closing out this year right now. 2 former FTX executives have already pled guilty to charges that paralleled those faced by SBF. They are expected to cooperate fully with the federal investigators with an ominous sign for SBF, who has maintained ignorance of any illegal activity within the company. Meanwhile, SBF is headed to live under house arrest with his parents in Palo Alto, California, following his appearance in federal court yesterday. The next hearing in the case will be on January the 3rd. Worth noting, SBF is out on personal recognition of a bond of $250 million that was secured by his parents' house. They have a $250 million house? How the hell? What? Okay, parents' house, and he didn't have to pay that amount, but would be on the hook if he didn't show up for court as instructed. So, I mean, how the hell did they, what the value of the house? I want to know that, because that's kind of crazy if you start thinking about it. Anyways, when we were talking about what was trending, we did talk about this, so let's go into a little bit more detail. Google is shelling out big money for NFL Sunday Ticket, the $2 billion a year. Yes, and I did say billion with a B. Year deal will give Google-owned YouTube streaming rights for the package, which gives users access to all NFL games on Sunday afternoons. The current deal with DirecTV was worth about $1.5 billion a year. The Wall Street Journal reports that Google beat out competitive offers from Amazon and ESPN. So there you go. $2 billion. So there you go. Woof. Some big money to acquire the rights of the NFL. So will that encourage you to get YouTube TV? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. Anyways, those insane egg prices you've been paying for at the grocery store have less to do with inflation and more to do with bird flu. Farmers are grappling with the deadly bird flu contagion that have been identified in all 50 states, killing an estimated 40 million chickens. It's the deadliest such outbreak in the history of pollos. When the case was identified, the whole flock is killed in a limit of the spread. So there you go. Some stuff going on there. Take a listen to this. TikTok Chinese-owned parent company admitted that several instances of its employees accessing private data of American users of live video sharing app ByteDance, the parent company, said that the IP addresses of the location data was uncovered as part of the internal investigation to track down leaks from within the company. They wanted to see if its employees were in the same places as 2 different journalists at the same time in order to identify who was spilling the goods on the media. Worth noting, is this the TikTok that admits to what other information they are gathering? Maybe that's some stuff to think about. And let's talk about this because under President Trump, when he was still in office, he was talking about that TikTok should be no more in the U.S. Was he right about it? I don't know. It's starting to see that there was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on with that platform that you might want to question some things inside of your life. And don't get me wrong. I still take a look at some of these other platforms that we use and still go, what the hell are we giving people in regards of our data? Because it becomes very interesting. Anyways, a study published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine shows that adults who exercise at least 30 minutes most days were 4 times more likely not to die from COVID. Even people who are exerted themselves for 11 minutes a week had healthier outcomes. Worth noting, when does the government acknowledge this as portion of the CDC in regards to what is going on? I don't know. It's a good question to ask. Well, what else would you ask there? I mean, it's one of those things to think about as we are talking. So it is 24 minutes past the top of the hour. I think we need some John Small in our life and let him tell us about what the hell's going on with the market beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, December 23rd, 2022. The sell-off in equities resumed Thursday as traders brace for what could be a historic PCE price index. Although the index is expected to decelerate on a year-over-year basis, it is expected to remain high and at a level that confirms the latest twist in the FOMC outlook. The twist is the FOMC slowed the rate hike pace, but upped its expectation for both inflation and peak interest rates. Thursday's candle is a warning to the market. Investors hoping for a Santa Claus rally should be cautious. The market may rise next week simply because of a lack of volume and the underlying bid. In this scenario, an upswing in prices will likely be met by selling that drives the index down to a new low. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for the information. Let's talk about what I was able to locate on our side. The Dow dropped about 349 points to close at 33,027 on Thursday. The S&P lost about 56 points to close at 3,822, while the Nasdaq dropped 233 points to close at 10,476. West Texas Intermediate closed at $78 a barrel as Brent crude closed at $82 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.10 on Thursday, and Bitcoin was trading at $16,803 on Thursday. Let's see. Are you ready for this? Because this number is crazy. These numbers that I'm about to tell you right now are crazy. Crazy. The most I've ever seen. Since I've been reporting this. There was 8,247 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States. Now sit your ass down as I'm about to say this next thing. There was 2,339 such cancellations. 2,339 such cancellations. Not delays. That's the cancellation side. And there was 8,247 flights delayed yesterday in that amount. That is astronomical. I mean, that makes for some non-happy campers. That's when you start going, okay, I'm taking a drivey-ivy in regards of going some places. Anyways, if you are not doing much this weekend because of everything that's going on and you're going to be locked up, I got some movies for you for your consideration. So new to Disney Plus is From the Ashes and Little Giant. New to Hulu will be Sharp Stick and Mac and Rita. And new to Netflix is Glass Onions, a Knives Out mystery. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. If you want to play into that equation of things. So talking about flights and all that, take a listen to this. Former Santa Monica Mayor Rex Minter is dead after a small plane crash on a beach. The plane landed on a shoreline and flipped on its roof on south of Santa Monica Pier on Thursday afternoon. And this man filmed it.
It just flipped over. I saw this big wave. That's when it struck me that something is definitely amiss here.
So Minter, the passenger, was killed. The pilot was taken to the hospital in an unknown condition. Minter was 95 years old. The pilot reported the engine trouble 9 minutes after taking off from Santa Monica Airport. The FAA and NTSB are investigating the crash as we speak. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on there. Not something you would expect to be hearing so close to the holidays. That is for sure. Take a listen to this one. The city of Denver is putting a halt on shoveling fines as dangerously cold temperatures fall off into the area. It's a relief for the 68-year-old Denver resident Kevin Neely, who says that he was concerned about his health based on the warnings, but also didn't want to be fined by the city.
Really good for me at my age to be out here shoveling. It's kind of a issue for me. I don't have any young people in the house. It's just me and my wife.
So normally the city of Denver expects snows to be shoveled by the day after it falls. If the city inspector sees unshoveled sidewalks, they'll leave a notice with a 24-hour deadline for the homeowner to shovel it. And a fine of $150 that could be handed down if it's not done. But it won't be the case if we're this storm since it's so cold outside. A city spokesperson says that the right and safe time when the temperatures rise will be for this weekend for when you take a look at it. So talking a little bit about everything, and we were talking about flight delays a little bit ago. Take a listen to this real quick. A major winter storm will continue to disrupt the holiday travel. Trey Thomas has more.
FlightAware says nearly 3,000 flights have already been canceled in the U.S. today, including 60% of all flights in Cleveland and 56% of all flights in Buffalo. Thursday saw about 10,000 flight delays in the U.S. and more than 2,500 cancellations. I'm Trey Thomas.
What an interesting time that is for sure. I feel bad if you're traveling today. I'm not going to lie here. So there you go. Anyways, the CDC is warning healthcare providers and public health authorities about recent rise in invasive strep A infection in children. Trey Thomas has more.
The agency issued a health advisory on Thursday. The CDC said places where there have been increases in RSV, flu, COVID-19, and other respiratory viruses have also seen an increase in strep A infections over the past 2 months. The CDC said despite the increases, cases have remained low. Invasive strep A is rare in children. I'm Trey Thomas.
Thank you, Trey Thomas, for the information right there. Take a look at this. A Twitter new view count feature isn't getting a lot of likes from users. Trey Thomas has more.
Twitter CEO Elon Musk announced on December 1st that the feature is similar to view counts on Twitter videos and claimed tweets are read about 100 times more than they are liked. One user tweeted that they like being blissfully unaware when people are ignoring me. Another compared it to a check engine light. No one wants to see it, and eventually I'm gonna forget it's there. I'm Trey Thomas.
That's kind of funny in regards of, I'm going to forget that it's there. That is for sure. Anyways, the moonbeam of sweet dreams outside the pediatric wing of the Beaumont Royal Oak in Michigan is now done for the year due to the winter storm. The women say that everyone took part of this year's had a terrific time.
With their flashlights when it's time, and they love watching people arrive. They love seeing the first responders.
Community members waved flashlight for the kids to see the wave back with their own lights last night in the final night of the year. Co-leader Lisa Muma called a difficult decision to cancel the December 23rd and 24th events, but felt that they had to do it for everyone's safety. These kids were among those that were taking part of the Moonbeams of Sweet Dreams at Beaumont Royal Oak last night.
The kids in the hospital who aren't feeling well. They are in the hospital over Christmas, and you're just that one speck of joy.
So there you go. It's kind of hard to cancel some of these things that are so important for people. But, due to the weather concerns, it does make a lot of sense on definitely what is going on out there. Think about it in that particular fashion. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past top of the hour.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The US committee investigating former President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election have accused him of a multi-part conspiracy. The panel looking into his actions leading up to and on January the 6th, when the US Capitol was attacked, has released its final report 3 days after recommending he be criminally charged. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
It's a damning portrait of a former president desperate to cling on to power. The inquiry found that Trump continued to push false claims that the election had been rigged, despite his aides assuring him that was untrue, that his rhetoric encouraged far-right militia to descend on Washington, D.C., and that he failed to take action to stop the Capitol attack once it was underway. Mr. Trump has previously declared the committee's investigation a witch hunt.
135 million people in North America are under weather alerts as temperatures plunge ahead of the Christmas weekend. Thousands of flights have been cancelled, with forecasts in places for the coldest and iciest Christmas in decades. UK Border Force staff are beginning several days of strike action between now and the end of the year. Public and Commercial Services Union members are walking out over pay in the civil service. The government's drafted in soldiers and other staff to conduct some border checks, but is warning arrivals to the UK of possible delays. PCS General Secretary Mark Sawatka says industrial action will only widen.
There will be severe disruption. The government's bringing the army in without any training. I think they get 3 days training for a job that requires not just weeks of training, but 2 years on the job training. It's a sticking plaster approach. 100,000 members have balloted to take strike action. So this is going to escalate. And it's going to not just therefore then be the airports. There will be ports, including Dover. There will be the issue of passports, the issue of driving licenses, job centres, benefit payments across the country.
China is expected to cut quarantine requirements for overseas travellers in January. Local media reports say health authorities are planning to continue relaxing strict COVID rules despite a growing virus outbreak. Richard Kimber reports from Hong Kong.
Media reports say China's health officials are preparing to scrap a long-standing mandatory 5-day quarantine period that incoming travellers have to spend in a hotel or isolation facility, and to fully reopen the border with Hong Kong. Both the relaxation measures are expected to be introduced next month. It comes as China is facing a surge in case numbers and suspected COVID-related deaths following a rapid transition away from its zero-tolerance approach to the coronavirus. Health authorities say the situation is under control, but there is mounting concern among international health experts that China's official numbers are significantly underrepresenting the scale of the challenge that the country is facing.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today at the phenomenon of President Volodymyr Zelensky. He infuriated some Republicans in Washington this week by showing up at the Oval Office in combat fatigues and boots that only hours earlier had trudged through the battlefront eastern city of Bakhmut in Ukraine. But his speech on Wednesday night to a joint session of Congress, with its references to Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the spirit of World War II, was deemed the most historic address many lawmakers said they had ever personally witnessed. Tim Marshall is a veteran foreign affairs correspondent and the author of A Flag Worth Dying For: The Power and Politics of National Symbols.
I cannot tell you how brilliant their PR team, the people around him. When he speaks to the Brits, he'll put a Churchillian phrase in. When he spoke to the Americans back in the Bulge, they know exactly what they're doing. This is brilliant stuff. And of course, he's pressing a lot of buttons when you're right. He said, your money is not charity, but an investment in global security and democracy. Because this is the theme they've been hammering away at for 10 months now. We are fighting this war because if the other side wins, then naked aggression and authoritarianism.
And President Zelensky warned US lawmakers this week his struggle is by no means over, with the Russians expected to launch a spring offensive against Ukrainian forces.
To recap the top stories, the US committee investigating former President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election has accused him of a multi-part conspiracy. 135 million people in North America are under weather alerts as temperatures plunge. UK Border Force staff are beginning several days of strike action, and China is expected to cut quarantine requirements for overseas travellers in January, despite a surge in COVID. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Have you ever wanted to start live streaming and were not sure how to do it? You can start live streaming up to 40 social media platforms all at one time for as little as nada. It's going to cost you your time. That is what it's going to cost. You can pre-record, you can live stream, you can do a multitude of things. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com/one. That's safetyfm.com, ONE.
About courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. She wasn't even really sure where she was at.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it. I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, we'll figure it out."
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk.
Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you. It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with Home Title Lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
We're rocking all day at work because we don't give a duck. Autocorrect probably just saved my ass there.
Like I give a flying, you know.
Safety Show on Radio Big and Safety FM. Hour one of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. So this right here is a little tunage, some Merry Christmas stuff. Yeah, if you come out and hang out on the Safety FM mini at noontime today, you'll see exactly what we're talking about with some Christmas musica. This one right here is called Merry Christmas by John Rush. And you can actually go out there and take a little gander at it. Give it a little download action on iTunes and Spotify. We would like to thank John Rush for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. As we're able to do this lovely thing that we call music. So there you go, some music for the holiday season. So let's get moving and grooving back into what the hell we have going on this show. And listen, I want to talk about this real quick because this time of the year is some of the most difficult times for some. I will tell you that most cases of mental health issues and depression, you see them during this time frame. And I'm going to tell you, between you and I, with this weather storm coming, this cold front that's coming to the vast majority of the Americas, we need to talk about this because this is the time to make sure that you are reaching out to some peeps out there. Or if not, it is a good time to know about numbers that are available to you. So let's talk about some of them that are out there. You have the crisis text line that's available at 741-741. You can text TWLOHA to them. You can really text anything, and that'll get everything started. You also have the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is available at 988 or 988lifeline.org, or just call 988 or text 988. You have the Trevor Project at 866-488-7386. That's 866-488-7386. And Trans Lifeline at 877-565-8860. That's 877-565-8860. Listen, there's all kinds of numbers, and I would love for you to do this. If this is not something that you need for yourself, be that person that shares this information with others. Also, take a moment this weekend during this little season and call people that you haven't talked to in some time. Call some people that you know that are going through struggles that are out there and see how they're doing, because it's important to do so. It really is, opposed to it just being, lackadaisical and not paying attention to these things. These things are important. If you want to find out more information, you can always go to TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. So there you go. That's what we got on that particular portion. So we still got a lot of stuff going on today. I would still like to tell you real quick about this, and that's about our current ebook that's available, How to Deal with Stress and Anxiety. You can find that at safetyfmplus.com. At safetyfmplus.com, just click on the section that says How to Deal with Stress and Anxiety. It's under the ebook section, and you're able to download that right there. Also, I want to make reference one more time about this, which I'm sure will be more than just one time, but I want to talk about it today. And that's about our Safety Differently workshop that's going to be taking place in Santa Fe, New Mexico. You can come hang out with Todd Conklin, Mark Yeston, Bob Edwards, Martha Acosta, and yours truly. We'll be doing a Safety Differently workshop in the month of March. If you want to come out, hang out, and do the things that we are doing over there. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.io. That's safetyfm.io to find out more information about what the hell is going on over there. So not a problem in regards of moving and grooving. That is for sure. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. We still got some things to talk about. I mean, there's a lot going on still today. I don't want you to think that, things are over, because there's still stuff to talk about. So let's talk about some food stuff real quick, because I think that's going to be important. Some companies are putting a new twist on candy canes and on unconventional flavors, offering like hot dogs. Yeah. Like hot dogs, brisket and sardines. One company, Archie McPhee, really thought outside of the box and developed a sardine-flavored treat, and yes, people eat them. According to the company, Archie McPhee is also responsible for the odd flavors of macaroni and cheese, bacon, kale, hot dogs, sour cream, and onions, and butter, and pickled flavor candy canes, and that are this year's bestsellers. I suppose that would be better than a candy cane-flavored pickle, but one only knows. Also, condiment producers Hillman's has teamed up with hospitality experience company Muddling Memories to create the most controversial cocktail of the holiday season, Mayo Nog. Yes, Mayo Nog. Eggnog already sparks passionate debate among cocktail fans, with some hailing it as a Christmas in a glass, and others wondering why would anyone consider this drinkable. As far as Mayo Nog goes, Eggs are replaced with Hellmann's mayo and the concoction of other ingredients, including maple syrup, and throw it into a blender with ice until smooth, and garnish it with a dusting of cinnamon. You can taste the creative creation at the New York restaurant Amy Florentine's for $16, but Hellmann also has provided the recipe to it that's available online. So, if you want to do some disgusting stuff, well, I guess there's an opportunity to do so. What do you think about this? I mean, I think it's kind of a weird one if you mix it all together. Anyways, let's talk about real quick about some New Year's leave, because, we won't be here during that time. But if you're going to New Year's Eve party this year, be sure to head home by 1 a.m. A new survey looked at 2,000 adults that plan to have that special night and found that 52% of the respondents agreed that the appropriate time to leave is within an hour of the ball dropping and you ring in the New Year's. Those who usually host typical invite about 19 guests if you have a party at home. Through the year, 71% of the regular hosts said that they plan to invite more people than usual. The survey by one poll also found that when it comes to being good guests of the New Year's Eve bash, you should bring a bottle of wine or alcohol, 58%, or a dessert, 48%, to the host who put on the party. Leave at 1 a.m. At 1 a.m., I'm not even done kissing people, so there you go. And 83% of the hosts also said that it's cool to get drunk and giggly, as Anderson Cooper does. I mean, I don't know. Something to think about. Anyways, with that being said, let's bring some John Small back in here and let him tell you about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Sarah. Warren Buffett said, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently." This quote was from a while back, and I think it takes far less than 5 minutes now to ruin your reputation. It can be done instantly with a single tweet or one post on Facebook or an email or a photo or a video. With technology in everybody's hands everywhere we go, just assume you are always being recorded. If you live life that way, you're probably better off. Just assume you're always on the record, because you probably are. Whether it's a security camera or a smartphone, just assume they're always recording. And live your life that way. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. There are a lot of tools for rewiring your brain to be better and increase neuroplasticity. Oftentimes, people lump a number of these tools under the category of meditation. But meditation where you focus on your breathing or one specific spot has generally been shown to improve your ability to focus. In fact, just 5 to 10 minutes a day of such meditation has significant effects on focus and insight. NSTR, or non-sleep deep rest, is quite different. It involves actively defocusing. And finally, hypnosis, that is self-directed, involves a state of deep relaxation with a light focus on a specific problem that you work through, and it can accelerate neuroplasticity and help resolve this problem and find creative solutions. For more information on wellness, check out AlessaMorgan.com.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1 minute devotion. Lord, thank you for the gift of family. From them we get our identity, our personhood. They give us a sense of history, a place to belong. In times of crises, they provide a safe haven, and when sorrow comes, they are our strength, a source of comfort in the dark hour of unspeakable loss. Family traditions are the threads that link one generation to the next. They provide a kind of ritual that makes holidays not only special, but somehow sacred as well. Remind us, Lord, that the first Christmas was a family event. Teach us to make all our Christmases family celebrations where we remember not only Mary and Joseph and your special birth, but our own family as well. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on this lovely morning. So let's start talking real quick because it is 54 minutes past the top of the hour. No winner for Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $510 million or $266.8 million cash payout. No winner for Wednesday night's Powerball drawing. Saturday night's drawing will be for $186 million jackpot or $100.1 million cash payout. So however you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Game playing. Anyways, let's talk about this. I'll just reference this for the sake of referencing. Avatar: The Way of the Water has passed $600 million on the global box office after hitting the $500 million mark earlier this week. Internationally, the film has made about $427 million as of midweek. So there you go. I guess when people were having that question about how it was going to do, well, I guess it's going to do well. Anyway, Celebrity News released a list of the most iconic Christmas films to enjoy this holiday season. So here they are in no particular order. Here we go. A Christmas Story, Miracle on 34th Street, A Christmas Carol, Scrooge, Charlie Brown Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus 1 and Santa Claus 2, Love Actually, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Elf, It's a Wonderful Life, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Polar Express, Jingle All the Way, and last but not least, Die Hard. Yes, it is a Christmas movie, just in case if you're wondering. Anyways, if you're looking at things that happened back on this date, back in 2002, a MAQ-1 Predator is shot down by an Iraq MiG-25. It's the first time in history that an aircraft and a modern unmanned drone engage in combat. That happened back in 2002. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, I got some of those for you. Danielle Bushy turns 39. Holly Madison turns 43. Martin Kratt, 57. Eddie Vedder turns 58. And Jim Harbaugh turns 59 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I got two. Festivus and National Roots Day. Yeah, those are the days to speak about today is what it looks like as we are talking. What else do we got? Let's see. If you need a random joke for today, here you go. If you think Christmas shopping on December 23rd is last minute, clearly you're an amateur. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is your family's unique, unusual, truly weird Christmas Eve ritual? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. When asked to describe their perfect Christmas morning, nearly 60% of kids said this, and it included this. What is it? Pancakes. Pancakes are the way to a child's heart, is what it sounds like. So there you go. Anyways, I want to take a brief moment and just say thank you. If anything, I want to thank you from all the people here at Safety FM, all the people over there at Radio Big, and say, listen, we wouldn't be able to do any of these two stations if it wasn't for you. You know, you take your time throughout the day, drop in, drop out, hang out, and see what the hell we have going on. You come to the events that we have planned, depending on where they're located, what's going on, and you come by, you say hi, you buy the books, you look at the streaming services, you listen to the radio station, you listen to the podcast, and listen, there is just no way that we would be doing all the stuff that we've done in 2022 without you. It's just, there is no other way. And I know that, you know, everything hasn't been perfect. And I know that you have taken the time and said, this is your areas of concern. These are the things that you like. These are the things that you don't like. And we appreciate that. We really do. Because we have made these stations possible because of you, the listener. You know, in some cases, the viewers, depending on where you're taking a look or a view. But there is no way that we would be where we're at. So if anything, I really hope that you have a great holiday season. You really enjoy your New Year's and you enjoy the time with your friends and family. Because that is really the purpose of the season. It's about friends and family. And at no point should you ever feel that to prove your love to someone, you need to get in debt because of a holiday. Listen, it's about enjoying each other. Not everything's going to be perfect this holiday season. I hope you know that already. But we make it whatever we can. So if I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. One of the most glorious messes in the world is the mess created in the living room on Christmas Day. Don't clean it up too quickly. I'm just letting you know right now. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Thank you, love you, mean it, and goodbye. Have a happy holiday. I'll see you next year. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Here is the news on the Radio R Safety Show.
You know I couldn't go without messing this thing up before it was all said and done. I'll see you next year.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.